Welcome. We will be discussing science from play to inquiry. The purpose of the Academy is to inform parents and caregivers about the expectation for their children who will be entering kindergarten in the coming school year. These presentations are based on the domains listed on the Delaware Early Learning Survey, which is used to assess all Delaware kindergarten children in the first 30 days of school and taken directly from Teaching Strategies Gold, Objectives for Development and Learning. Science can be both fun and interesting. And many young children are interested in the science topics. We will discuss learning expectations as well as some fun ways that you can explore science-related ideas at home. So what is science? Science topic for young children revolve around living things, physical properties, and environment. The best way for children to learn about science is to observe, investigate, participate in science activities. Young children are natural investigators. They are curious about how things work and what will happen next. It is the perfect opportunity to capture that curiosity and expand on how to encourage deeper thinking and research. So why is it important? Young children need many opportunities to explore science concepts firsthand over time so they can connect new understandings to related experiences. Science study begins as natural, informal learning and observations, which is supported by adults who help and encourage exploration and discovery. It's not important for children to remember specific details and facts at this age. It is important to encourage children to observe and ask questions about the natural world and to think about what might happen during scientific processes. These are all scientific goals that are suggested for preschool, kindergarten age children. They involve using scientific inquiry skills and demonstrating knowledge of living things, properties of objects and materials, and the Earth's environment. Children should also use tools and technology to perform tasks. Young children have many scientific understandings, although they may be incomplete or inaccurate. By using integrated scientific inquiry activities, children can enjoy, feel competent about learning science. So let's take a look at the first one, using scientific inquiry skills. Inquiry skills include observing, predicting, and using data and hypothesizing. This means that children make focused observations, pose meaningful questions, determine what is already known by examining books and other resources, make predictions, select appropriate techniques and tools, conduct investigations, reflect on experiences, and communicate their findings. This list looks pretty complicated for a young child, but this is how it might happen. Your child might become interested in worms after observing them after a rainstorm or while gardening. He might pick up and examine them or compare them to something else he already knows about. When an adult could introduce a book to extend the information to help him develop new concepts and questions. Then he might ask questions that are not found in the book, or simply be interested in observing other worms' behaviors firsthand. An observation of worms could be arranged by an adult, and children could be encouraged to talk about the drawings and the observations. He might measure the worms he is observing, or also find ways that worms are alike and different. He could make worms out of Play-Doh or pretend to be a worm using a sock puppet. This is called scientific process. Our next area demonstrates knowledge of characteristics of living things. Children want to learn about living things and how they grow and change. This could be observing animals or plants. Observations and experiences help children to enhance conceptual understanding of living things. Life sciences focus on patterns, processes, and relationships of living organisms. The study of life ranges over scales from single molecules throughout organisms and ecosystems to the entire biosphere that is life on Earth. So what does this look like? Through regular contact with nature, children expand their curiosity and observation skills, practice nurturing behaviors as they care for living things, and gain knowledge in other academic areas. They may become experts on certain topics. This information becomes conceptual standard, which they can use to better understand new topics through comparison, categorization, and generalization.
The next objective that we'll look at is demonstrates knowledge of the physical properties of objects and materials. Children learn about physical properties through observations and by manipulating objects and materials. As adults talk with children about the properties of objects and materials, children develop vocabulary and important background knowledge. This background knowledge helps children observe their environment more closely. For example, if a child has been exposed to ramps by using blocks and cars in playtime, they will possibly observe ramps elsewhere in the community and talk about them. So what does this look like? Children will begin to be more observant with things around them and more verbal about these observations. They will notice that many objects are similar and yet different. They will see that some objects change over time and explore concepts of pushing, pulling, rising, and sinking. Broad questions such as, what is this made of and why does this happen, can be applied to explain and predict a wide variety of phenomena that occur in people's everyday lives, such as the evaporation of a puddle of water or the transmission of sound. Wonderful science principles are around us all of the time. Adults can help their child explore and appreciate this wonder in everyday situations. The next is demonstrates knowledge of the Earth's environment. Scientists are constantly learning new things about the Earth's environment. Advances in technology have revised conceptions of how Earth was formed and continue to evolve. New data from satellites and new computational models are revealing the complexity of the interacting systems that control Earth's ever-changing surface. Young children learn about the composition of Earth, weather, day and night, shadows, and recycling. All of these concepts can be observed daily. Drawing your child's attention to the weather or to different plants or types of soil will spark an interest for further investigations. What does this look like? We are all very much affected by weather and seasons. Think about how our clothing, activities, and even food choices are affected by them. Measures of temperature can be seen on many signs on a daily drive. Is there anything more wonderful than a walk on a starry night or watching the moon rise? Unfortunately, there are also many examples of pollution and the carelessness of people on our daily drives as well. But there are also opportunities to participate in community cleanup activities and recycling at home. A small observation with a few comments or directed questions can result in a meaningful, informal science lesson. Uses tools and other technology to perform tasks. Technology enables children to respond and represent their learning in individual ways. There are many examples of tools and technology used in science, such as thermometers, funnels, magnifying glasses, measuring devices, cameras, and computers. Children enjoy experimenting with them all. They each have a positive impact on children's academic performance and their social and problem-solving skills. As children are given the opportunities to explore through using different tools and forms of technology, they begin to show an understanding of the best tool for the job. They will begin to make choices that illustrate this understanding. They will also take more care and become more precise with their materials as they see the importance of accuracy. Thank you for joining us today for our presentation of Science Expectations for Kindergarten.